Welcome to the channel, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist. One of the things that many people don't consider when they start an intimate relationship is the consequences and the ramifications of what happens to them, not just personally, but psychologically to the people around them as well that have been involved in the relationship. Too many people don't set boundaries around third-party family members. They allow their family members to pry. They share intimate details with the family members about the relationship. In many cases, this will be single mothers with their sons or daughters or both or all. Instead of sharing and developing the relationship with the person that they're with, what you'll find is this will then open doorways to interferences that have absolutely nothing to do with you. This can work in both genders, male and female. And the fact of the matter is that the reality of the privacy of the relationship is completely taken for granted via the insecurities and lack of boundaries in the person that you're with. To me, this is critically important because you don't want to be having a relationship with more than one person at one time. For people that have no boundaries and they're socially spread all over the place, they find their identity in how many people they know or how many people they can make happy. Or they find their identity in how much of themselves they can share with a particular person or people, to try and keep a measure on themselves on how their decision making is going or how they perceive to be going through the eyes and the minds of the people that they're talking to. Not that those people think that anything they're saying is important or relevant. A lot of people say what they think people want to hear, and this misleads multitudes daily, because people are looking for their egos to be stroked, they're looking to be grandized, they're looking to see themselves through the applause and positive acquisitions of the people that they engage with. Some people just use people for emotional fuel to feed their ego. They know if they open their mouth to certain people, they're going to say exactly what they want to hear. Once the doorway opens to an intrusion into a intimate relationship, then the direction in which the cancer can flow is infinite. It can come then through the veins of the relationship via lies. It can come through the veins and therefore heart of the relationship through jealousy, manipulation, control, conceitedness, saying things about the person that aren't true, and the person that you're with is already in a dual fantasy relationship with a family member, possibly a child through covert emotional incest. They've got a dual fantasy relationship going on about each other, and they're all but having a relationship without sex. That's a violation to the rules and laws of a monogamous relationship, exclusive relationship. That person is violating the rule of their exclusive relationship, and that's why you feel like you are not in an exclusive relationship, because the person that you're with does not know how to restrain and control that intimate part of their emotional side of their life in a way in which is healthy for them and for their partner. They have no restraint. These maternal, extramaternal DNA, interpersonal, intimate, emotional relationships becomes so cancerous, so infested, so parasitical, that if you're trying to have a relationship with one of them people and you can see what's going on in the background, you see that you're really only a form of supply. You're an outsider that's supplying this person with, you're supplying them their narcissistic fuel. They don't love you. They're not going to build a future with you. If they were going to, it would have happened by now. You're being played. You're being strung along. You're being lied to. That person is emotionally attached to the family member. The emotional incest, the enmeshment, is far more stronger and everlasting than what your finite position with that person is. You're just a means of fuel. You're just a means of supply. You're just a piece of sand, a grain of sand on a beach. The only value you'll have in that relationship is the value you have for yourself. Because at the end of the day, when the blood transfusion bottle runs out, your narcissistic supply runs out, guess what? They will reverse discard you. They will set you up into a situation, starving you to the point where you will not tolerate their nonsense anymore. You've known all along that something wasn't right, as much as the excitement and all the thrills of the intimacy and everything was there. The relationship was always filled with voids and gaps, and like a car that's just not tuned right or running out of fuel. It was always sort of at that running out of fuel stage until the person turned up. Wasn't that they weren't giving anything either, of course. They were giving of themselves too, but they didn't seem to understand what the consequences were if they couldn't get it right, and they just could not get it right. They would not get it right. They were never going to get it right. They'd been that way decades before you come along. The security of these people is in their family members. It is not in somebody outside that element. These people continue and always will go on to lose. They've got to set up a situation where the person that they're with will tolerate their inadequacies, their deliberate willingness to not resolve. They'll play ignorant, they'll play naive, they'll play stupid, they'll play whatever they have to string you along and make you believe that that's whatever the situation is at the best resolve they can give. But if that's not to your satisfaction, then why are you tolerating it? Who programmed you to put up with less than what you want to tolerate? This is the part where all the narcissistic psychological teachers are doing a great job of it, but they're not telling you about your sinful nature, are they? There's a nature inside all of us that wants to do evil, that wants to sabotage us, that wants to be entertained by the narcissist, that wants to give the narcissist their supply, that wants to get in the bedroom with the dirty little narcissist that you know is just using you. You know it. You know. You're not stupid. You can tell. They come and they leech out of you and then run back to their little hidey hole and live out their life with their codependents. That's where their security is. A lot of these single mothers have made their sons their little husbands. And if they've got more than one, they've got more than one mini husband, haven't they? They're living their dirty little secret life. Many of these people are bi. They'll send pictures of them with their friends. A friend comes over for the night. It's got nothing to do with you. You don't know what's going on while you're not around. You just don't know. And that's not to read into anything or suggest anything, but let's not be stupid either. These people will get supply from whenever they need to. These people can be sitting in a place and the right song come on at the right time with the right person sitting somewhere, and that's it. If it feels right, and the song's right, and the drink's right, and the moment's right, you don't exist. That moment exists. That's how these people operate. You have to understand that you're a grain of sand on a beach, and you'll be put back on the beach when you run out of supply, or if your standards are too high and the person doesn't like you checking them. A lot of these single mothers just don't get checked. If their little husbands or many husbands and that are okay, well, that's that out of the way. Everything else is okay though. They'll feed them, they'll supply them, they'll do whatever they want, and then they'll go out and they'll be feeding on some poor stranger that's going to be left sitting on the sideline, which you already know anyway. You know it ain't going to work. You just don't know anything about covert emotional incest. Oh, but they come over 2, 3, 4 times a week. Doesn't mean anything. You might not even be going to their place because the family members don't like you. Straight away that tells you that person hasn't got your back. You're just a means of supply. And years can go by. Some of these people have spent 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years with these people, just as a means of supply. Are you a means of supply? Are you? Because if you are, you need to find a way to back out, detach, and walk away. Find someone decent. I'm telling you, it'll change your life when you find somebody that puts their teeth into you, really puts their teeth into you. You make your days better, your work is better, your income is better, you sleep better, you make love better, while they're just sitting at home with their pets and their children, dysfunctional children, on drugs, drink, medications, and making excuses for themselves until it's all over. You'll see them at the hospitals. They're dying of lung cancer, all other sorts of illnesses and sicknesses. They didn't want to face the issue. They didn't want to listen. You didn't do anything wrong. You just stood on your standards. They couldn't work that out. That's their bad luck. Doesn't mean you didn't love them, give, take care, and share. The proof's in the pudding. Who was not stepping up? The answer's in the unresolved. I'm telling you, if you can't, they're not going to let you near their phone, but it's in the unresolved. If there's things that aren't being resolved, walk straight away. They don't care. When you care about something, you'll fix it. If you cut yourself and you care about it, you'll put ointment on it. If they're not fixing the problem, they don't care. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Start to detach. Get rid of this pest. Get rid of this person that's just playing the game. It's all a big game of supply. Detach, start to starve them. They'll move on quick enough, don't worry. Some of these people have got somebody else the same day if they're not already got somebody else without you knowing. You detach, you realize that this is the beginning of a breakup. You'll start to ruminate. That'll go on for months. You'll question every question that you can think of. Could I have done this? Should that have happened? Why not this, that? It'll start to pass as you accept that you ain't going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going to accept this. For no contact. For the benefit of them and the benefit of you. And that's provided you've got no children. I'm not going to talk about people with children. That's a whole different animal. full no contact, let them go. They'll find somebody else, so will you. Somebody else that'll suit you. These people usually get themselves into situations that are so bad and dire, you wouldn't even want to know what happens to them. Get back on track. Get back to where you should be. Forget about what's going on there. If people are mucking you around, you get rid of them straight away. They'll sort themselves out. So will you. Bye for now.